Hey there, footy fans. Time for a bit more footy fun with Footy Fin. And yes, it is NRL Finals time. Do you like that graphic there? Didn't leave quite enough space for the S. Kind of screwed up the end, but anyway, quick job. So look, time for a bit more footy fun with Footy Fin. I think I said that already, but if I didn't, I have now. So listen, the top 8 is decided. The wheat has been sorted from the chaff, the sheep from the goats. The bottom 9 are finished, their season's over and done with, and it's time just for the top 8 to get on with the business end of the season. Now, one thing that not many people are talking about, but of the top 8, Sydney teams are in a minority. That's right, only 3 Sydney teams out of 8. That's 37.5%. FYI, so not many. And do you even count Penrith as a Sydney team? I think some Penrithians mightn't even like to think of themselves as Sydney siders. But anyway, there you have it. Of course, the past 2 grand finals were all Sydney affairs, so it looks like this one probably won't be. So, of course, we've got just one of the 4 Queensland teams. We've got a New Zealand team, Newcastle, and Canberra and Melbourne rounding out the 8. So exciting times. Now, it all kicks off Friday night with the Broncos hosting the Storm for the 2nd week in a row. I'm actually going to be at that game. Can't wait. Look out for a live cross or some such thing. We'll see what we come up with there. But listen, the Broncos are looking to break a bit of a hoodoo here in games stretching all the way back 14 and a half years to round 2 of 2009. The Broncos have not beaten the Storm at Lane Park. Just to show how long ago that was, the great GI, Greg Inglis, was playing for the Storm at that time. Darren Lockyer would have been playing for the Broncos. Excuse me, bit of a peanut in the throat there. So anyway, Brisbane are really hoping, and they have a good chance, I would say, to break that hoodoo. Now, I'm not going to give my tips today. I'm waiting for the team lists and late mail, so that'll come later in the week, Thursday night or Friday morning. The Broncos do hope to welcome back Reynolds, Carrigan and Staggs, amongst others. The Storm, the big question is where they'll play Ryan Pappenhausen after he played a good 78 minutes in last week's game. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Anyway, Saturday afternoon, the Panthers host the Warriors. Now, bit of an interesting one. You would have thought they would have chosen a primetime, nighttime game for the Panthers, but probably due to the Warriors' large fan base being in New Zealand and them being 2 hours ahead, 4 p.m. Sydney time is 6 p.m. New Zealand time, so that's probably the strategy there. Now look, the Panthers, the Warriors fans, or they like to call the team the Wars, there's a bit of talk in the social media and what have you that a lot of the pundits are sort of ignoring the Warriors, sort of writing them off subconsciously, overlooking them, which I think has some justification. So they'll be looking to sort of prove their critics wrong, if you like. Apparently the Warriors are still missing young 5'8" Metcalf, but they will have Tamari Martin stepping in. Of course, Martin used to play with the Cowboys and he played at 5'8" for the Cowboys in the 2017 grand final when JT was injured. So he's no stranger to finals football. Panthers, of course, are missing the injured Jerome Luai. And look, there's talk today that the Panthers have sounded him out about an initial offer, and it begins with a 7, apparently. They have said he won't be earning above $8,000 a year at the Panthers. That has shocked a few people. So anyway, watch this space. Might see Luai pop up at the Tigers. Who knows? Saturday night, the Sharks host the Roosters. Prime time. Now, interestingly, the NRL have opted to play this at Shark Park, a smaller capacity ground than, say, Allianz Stadium, which is a almost brand new purpose-built stadium with a big capacity. Of course, that is kind of the Roosters' home ground, so some might perceive that's unfair. But look, they're really shutting out a lot of fans from seeing that live. Big question is whether Kennedy can return at fullback for the Sharks. They've had a bit of a fullback curse. I think they're down to their third string one the other day. Forget the young fella's name, sorry, but he went off injured as well. Of course, the Roosters are missing JWH, the grub, with suspension. And there's talk that Daniel Tupou is out injured. So we'll wait and see. That should be a bit of an interesting one. And then Sunday afternoon up in Steel City at McDonald Jones Stadium, the Knights host the Raiders. The Knights are in red hot form. The only real question mark here is whether or not Kalen Ponga will be fit to play. He had a bit of a nasty, I think it was a shoulder injury the week before last. Unclear whether or not Jackson Hastings will play, but they wouldn't miss Hastings as much as they'll miss Ponga, who's really their go-to man who fires them up. Raiders, I'm sad to say, I do like the Raiders, but the Raiders are really just making up the numbers here. They're missing Papali'i, Horsburgh, Sebastian Chris now. There's an injury cloud over Croker, also Fogarty and maybe Whiten's not at top fitness. So anyway, we'll wait and see what happens there. Of course, Rugby Union World Cup also kicks off on Friday, but we'll leave that for another time. Want to tie this up now. Thanks for watching. Please, I'm gunning for the massive milestone of 50 subscribers. Please subscribe, like, comment, and look out for my tips later in the week. See ya.